always respond back when it comes down to phone. You always want to respond with an answer, but never finish that answer. Finish the answer and then end with another question. Okay, it's a cat and mouse game. All right, let's get it popping. Anything new? So welcome. We have more people coming in, but anything new with contracting, Joe? That's updates.
No, nothing is new for you guys out there right now. Everything's pretty much running the same.
You mentioned before, with AMAM coming into NLC. Any updates on that at all?
I'm not sure. I think they have launched it already on there, but I'm not really sure if it has been launched or not. I have to double check on that.
Okay, because so one of my agents
did they launch it or you don't know yet?
No, but she did request AMAM through HCMS, but it hasn't been added to her SureLC. That could be it. Maybe she can check on NLC.
Maybe she should can check on NLC.
Okay, I'll ask her because it says corporate reviewed on it, so it was looked at.
Reviewed, then she never got the link to send it.
She didn't get a link. I had her check on SureLC, and it's not on the drop down. So maybe it's up and running.
No, not up and running.
It's not.
No.
Okay, then.
No. If she if she was able to send the request through SureLC or through HCMS, I want to say, then that means that corporate should have sent her over the SureLC link to submit her AMAM. But if she hasn't received the link yet, then we need to have it resent to her.
Okay. Yeah, because I did it for her. I requested Aetna and AMAM. She got the Aetna.
And she didn't get AMAM?
Yeah, no. So I was thinking maybe it's on NLC.
Or maybe we can check NLC and see if she has the option there. If she doesn't have it, then we can just resend her the link.
Okay. Yeah. So I'll follow up. So we are now open for questions. Feel free to fire away. Don't be shy. Anything as far as any questions in the field, phones, products. You have Joanne here for anything for contracting, carriers, issues. Let us know. Fire away.
I have a question.
How's it going?
How you doing? So on SureLC, I've been with Capital One and they asked for I seen SureLC, they're asking for a copy of a voided check, but Capital One doesn't do voided checks. So what do I do in that instance?
Yeah, you can actually use a statement. So just go to your Capital One, look for any statement. All they really care about is anything on paper that you can upload that's going to have your name, your address, along with the routing number and account number, and you'll be fine. We've actually had. Go ahead.
I actually did that. I uploaded when I went to Capital One to give me a paper, they said I could use this that has all my information on it.
Yep. Right, a direct deposit slip.
I uploaded that.
Yes, you could use that.
Yeah, that'll work.
Yeah.
While I was SureLC, it said something about I gotta fix it. I guess I didn't take it.
So click fix it. Sometimes what's happening is SureLC, it's smart. It tries to read the check. So if you uploaded a voided check, it could read the bottom parts, the bottom numbers. But since it's not a check, click fix it. You just have to manually input the routing numbers and account numbers, and you'll be fine.
Yeah, I did that. I put the checking account number, routing number. It says voided check not linked.
Did you put in the picture?
That's where you upload the image.
Yeah, just upload the image on that part. It happens quite often too when you do errors and omissions.
Okay, so if I attach the document again and it doesn't work, what do I do after that?
It should be good. You don't have to worry about fixing it as long as it's uploaded. It'll still work.
Okay.
Yeah, just make sure you double check your routing number and account numbers are correct, and you'll be fine.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hi, Jody here in Orange County. How are you guys?
Hey, Jody. Are you local?
I am local. Yeah, just started. Haven't made my first calls yet, so still working on the script. What I'm trying to figure out is the best way to set up my computer. So when I do start, is it best to set up tabs for each carrier so that I can kind of go between what I need? What would you suggest the best way to set that up?
Okay, so let's take a step back. Are you asking when in regards to you dialing, or you going into the field and doing an application with the client?
Dialing, actually. Well, I suppose you could do it both ways. You could use the same information, I suppose, in-house or telesales. But for for this question, let's do telesales. So if I'm
Okay,
at home
so
dialing, yeah.
okay. So couple of things. When you're doing a dialing, you got to double check the CRM or the call tools or whatever you're using for your dialing. Okay, are you dialing by hand on your cell phone? Are you using phone burner? Are you using call tools? Any of those resources yet?
I'm looking into Ringy
Okay.
and comparing that with phone burner,
Yes.
but I will be using some type of one or the other.
Okay. Yeah. Ringy would have heard. I haven't used it, but I've used phone burner and call tools. Ringy allows you to text message as well while you're
Which I
dialing,
like
and
that. I
it comes
like that
back.
option actually. To
Yeah.
have that option anyways.
Right. So all you really got to figure out then is wherever leads you're going to get it from, get it on an Excel, upload it to Ringy. And then you're thinking, okay, once I get in front of a client, what am I doing? How am I quoting and whatnot? Okay. So we're focusing on the virtual sales or the telephone sales, right? Are you watching any videos on those? Have you? Okay.
Tons.
Which ones do you feel effective so far?
I'm sorry.
Which ones, what video, if you could share to the other people in the group, are effective from what you're watching?
Oh gosh, there's so many. Anything with Paul, all his Monday stuff, and yeah, I can't even tell you. I watch probably 5 a day of
Oh,
just
awesome.
everybody's suggestions. It's really the best, and so I'm just trying to. And I know that it takes time to figure out what works for you. Like for me, what works for you may not work for me, and I just need to kind of start once I start doing it, and once I start talking to people and figuring it out, then my own processes will probably look different from yours. But at least if I can start with some foundation.
Yes. So we have that. Have you checked out fflvirtualsales.com?
No.
Okay, so I just wanted to give you that extra additional resource. So fflvirtualsales.com.
Okay,
there's going to be a password. The password is success, capital S. Yeah. So specifically, that's a training website, just all virtual. Either you're doing Zoom or telesales.
Okay.
Okay. And then, okay, so let's say you've gone to dial, you're having a conversation with the client. This is where you're like, what do I do? What tabs am I going to be open? What so-and-so? We lost your audio. I hear you talking, but did you mute? Okay.
Sorry,
You went mind mode on us.
I'm trying to, my dog is squeaking his toy and I didn't want you guys to have to hear that.
She went sign language out of stuff.
Right. Yeah, so basically, yes, I'm talking to them. Okay, are we going with America? Are we going with Aetna? I don't want, and if I have to divert to another carrier, I don't want to be fumbling around.
Yes.
So I'm assuming that I would just put each carrier that I think, obviously after having a conversation with them, which carrier I think would be my options and have those available and ready to go if I have to switch to another carrier.
Right. So the biggest fumbling would be trying to keep a conversation while also be able to give them a quote. Right?
Exactly.
And then that's one fumble. And then really that's the easy part. It's them. Once you quote, you get them to do an application, right? So when we're doing an application, unfortunately, we don't have a one-stop shop for an application. We have to go to each individual carriers. So that's one tab you want to do. You want to just set up your sc.americo, which is your application for Americo. You do the Mutual of Omaha. You do the insurance admin for Prosperity, insuranceapplication.com for MM, Aetna Senior Products for Aetna. You just want to create all these little tabs for applications.
Got it.
Right? So that's one part. For quoting, you have to either download apps, or there is one company that they use. I don't personally use it because it's an extra cost when you could just quote on your own. This thing called insurancetoolkits.com. Okay. It's like $50. But with Insurance Toolkits, it allows you to just put in the client's date of birth, age, information, medical conditions, and it'll pop up a quote for all of these carriers.
Oh, wow.
On the spot. But it's $49.
Right. So maybe not something to do off the bat, maybe something down the road.
And I wouldn't recommend it. I just want to give you an idea to how it's done. The reason why is that agents make a mistake. They undercut themselves because purposely these carriers, if you're using that, they go dollar for dollar to cent to be the number one on the top.
Got it.
Not to, say any bad things about other carriers, but some carriers will be 1 cent or 2 cents cheaper. That can affect your income because it's going to send it to an underwriter and it doesn't get them a fully approved on the spot type of policy.
Got it.
So you make the sale, you thought you made the sale, it went through underwriting. 2 days, 3 days later, after you hung up on it with the client, it comes back and say, hey, it went up or you got declined. Now you got to chase the client down again.
Got it. Okay.
So
understood.
to make it very simple, we want to stick with 3 main carriers. Okay. You want to stick with Americo, AIG, and Prosperity. So that would be your 3 main tabs, your 3 main quoting tabs. Because if you use all those 3s, you're always going to get 100% decision.
Okay.
So let's say if Americo declines, something pops up on the medical records, then I would switch to Prosperity. Okay. So I'm just going to give you a guideline on how to use it. Okay.
Yeah.
Americo and Prosperity in the middle will give you a middle answer immediately. Okay. It'll tell you before you even put in the bank account information. So that's actually one of the selling tool I would use to the client. The great thing why I chose this company based on your condition, some word tracks to use, is because this company will give you an automatic decision on the spot before we even put your bank account information. So you can move forward if you like it or not.
Got it.
Right. So with Americo will just tell you based on the information, clients tracking to be approved. With Prosperity, it'll give you 3 answers: level, modified, or graded. And it'll tell you what cost it.
Okay.
So I like to transition from Americo to Prosperity. If Americo declines, because it's either approve or reject, I go with Prosperity. At least I can get him on a graded plan. And then if I get him on a graded plan, I still get paid full comp on it.
Got
and
it.
they get issued on the spot.
Okay.
I would use AIG if Americo tells you it wasn't declined, but they couldn't continue because there's an MIB history. If an MIB history means the client's been declined before.
Right.
So if you use Prosperity, it'll be the same answer. You can't continue. But with AIG, the SIWL or the GIWL, which are 2 separate policies, the SIWL doesn't check MIB. The GIWL is a end all be all where they'll take anyone as long as they fit the criteria of 50 to 80, but it has a 2-year graded.
Okay. All right.
So
So
you want to
basically
keep
have those three available to me.
Right. And then the special niche that you want to do is you want to have Aetna available if you're talking to someone 85 and up. You have Mutual of Omaha for like healthy individuals that want to get $100,000 to $150,000 coverage. You can use Index Universal Life Express. Just do a little bit of a takeaway when you sell that. Just make sure that, hey, I'm going to try to get you the highest coverage with the least amount, but just to let you know, this is the highest. It has a higher underwriting. So if you don't get approved, don't be alarmed. We got to trigger and pivot to another company.
Got it. Okay, cool. Understood. Thank you. I appreciate that.
So if needed to, second thing, suggestions would be to have a second monitor or a second laptop.
Yeah, I've been thinking about that.
Yeah. So if you have an iPad, if you can quote off your iPad and you can do an application on the phone so you can mix it around,
Right.
that'll be probably a lot easier for you. And then also having a headphone.
Totally.
Yeah. So you're not like this on phone with the client.
Yeah, I know, right? Okay.
There you go.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Sure. Also, we do want to make a shout out. If you guys have not used our underused Zoom, we have our Zoom at joinelitedials.com. We're looking to build that up some more, get more people, because we feel like a lot of individuals are on their own. And sometimes it's a good thing, but sometimes it's a bad thing because there's nobody else to watch you. Since no one's watching you, you could just get out of your calling and you can get distracted. And so we're trying to build up a big camaraderie with it. So it's joinelitedials.com. It'll be a Zoom, and then just join in, and then we'll put the password on the group me. So you can see other people and other leads. You get to see that people are working. You get to see that people are always getting slammed on the phone with the same situations. It's a game of rejections, right? But the more you can get rejections, the more you can get people that's going to be interested in the insurance product. And those are the wins that we want, right? So you get to see how people bounce back. You get to see how people answer a rebuttal, objections. And if there's dead time, understand we are working. We put it on mute. We unmute when there's a call happening, because no one else wants to hear you just dial and hear a ringing noise, right? So you get to see the different type of leads. Yeah, people working mailers, final expands, CRM leads, outside resource leads. So it's pretty good.
I have a question. So for new agents, what do you think is like the biggest hiccup for them?
So the biggest hiccup for a new agent is just so many unknowns, and we're trying to eliminate a lot of the unknowns, but we can't, right? And then the biggest hiccup for them is, can I take my leap of faith? Can I jump alone and take the dive through the unknown, or am I waiting for someone to handhold me and take me there, right? We are trying to handhold you as much as we can, but at the end of the day, we can't monitor you for 24 hours a day, right? So there's things that we're doing from our end, like, for example, contracting. Man, I was just going through with the new agent, and I was saying the names for each of the contracting, and I'm thinking to myself,
platform. It's like
right,
4 different platforms.
Right. Did you know I barely learned what HTMS stood for?
Really?
Do you know what that is?
Yeah.
What is it?
It's a hierarchy compensation management system.
Yeah, I'm all like, first initially, like 2 weeks ago, that's when I started asking myself, why did we create this name? Why couldn't we just make it easier? And then when it's spelled out, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because like, we could have just said something about like your back portal, your main office account, right?
Yeah.
So there's that. So I'm on the phone. If I'm not watching you, I'm not seeing your screen. Now I have to just identify and describe it, right? So you go to HCMS. What's that? Now, when you go to your HCMS, go in the top right.
To your gateway.
Go to look for gateway. Once you're in gateway, that's where you see on the left side corner, you have the ILC and the Sure LC and the HCMS. Click on the Sure LC. So when there's so many unknowns, right? A new agent will come in and be like, dude, just tell me where to press, because I don't want to make a mistake.
Yeah.
I don't want to make a mess. Right. So things are on the line, right? Your income is on the line. If you're purchasing leads, now you have a out-of-pocket expense. So a lot of people don't want to make that mistake, right? So your fears come in. You got a fear of the unknown, fear of failure, fear of success, fear of rejection, all of these fears that we can try to eliminate. But I would just say, like a motivational piece that I got from Jim Quick. He said that failure is not actually the opposite of success. It's a part of it. Okay. So you have to fail because that's part of the success. That's what's going to get you to the next step. But when you have a lot of people with the old mantra of saying, failure is not an option, failure is not an option, dude, you'll never try.
Yeah.
You won't make it in this business, because if you look at it, if you have a good closing ratio of 30%, that's decent. You just got to talk to 7 people, you'll make 10 people, you'll make 3 sales.
Yeah.
Right. So you need to fail 7 times to get 3 sales. And, if it's not $1,000 per sale, you're making a decent income per week. You just got to get rejected 7 times. So think of it that way. So what's going to be the biggest hiccup? You got to have that mind shift. Okay. Your philosophy in this business. Am I doing this for fun? Am I doing this to have an opportunity, or am I seeing this as a risk? Right. If you see this as a risk, your philosophy is, I'm scared to do anything and everything. Yeah. Right. But if it's an opportunity, dude, I'll try everything until I make my money. So change that philosophy first. So hopefully that wraps back to your question.
Okay, yeah. Where exactly do we go to purchase leads?
Okay, so you will go to the ILC. All right, so let's take a step back. How to navigate the website, right? All in all, if you are lost on where you navigate, you go to familyfirstlife.com. You go to agent login, and once you do agent login, you'll be in what's called Gateway. In Gateway, once you're in Gateway, on the far left side of that, you have access to multiple things. You have access to your HCMS, which is your hierarchy compensation management system. This is where you can request carriers. HCMS allows you to request carriers, invite an agent if you want to recruit, and change their comp if you're an admin. In On the gateway, on the bottom of that, you'll see SureLC. This is to request the carriers, to add the carriers and get the contracting. Then you'll see ILC. So this is where you go in and buy leads. Okay. ILC stands for Integrity Lead Center. Okay. So you have to have created your HTMS profile first, got the NLC out the way and gateway out the way, and then you'll be right there. And then once you're on ILC, you'll have multitudes of different types of leads you can purchase. You first look at the map, you look at the red areas, look at your state. You can buy per county. You can even set up what's called a real-time campaign. Okay, so do you want me to elaborate on different types of leads?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so once you're on the CRM, you click the county that you want to purchase leads in. There's multiple leads out there. There's Facebook leads, YouTube leads. All in all, they're mainly online leads. Real-time campaign is something that just got added. It's a specific lead created for you as your campaign, and it's $9 per lead. Okay, you can choose how many leads you want to come in. If you want being set up 20 a week, they'll charge you your card, set up your credit card in there, like $9 times 20. By Sunday, you'll get it. Or if there's not enough leads in your area, it'll create a campaign to fund leads in your area. So those are pretty good. There's instant leads. They're $11. They're the same as internet leads. Internet life leads, they're, I would say, 2 weeks to a month old. And that's around also $9. There's also 1 month and 3 month older leads. There's final expense leads, mortgage mailer leads. They run about $3 to $7. The older the lead, just think of it this way: the older or age they are, they're lower cost and a little bit harder to contact. But at the end of the day, if they haven't gotten their life insurance lead or life insurance need taken care of, it's all a lead. It's just a matter of the speed. The higher the cost of the lead, for example, YouTube leads and Facebook, like Spanish leads, they can run $20, $25. They're just more higher quality in a sense because there's videos and other things, and in the speed that it comes in. So going back to Yoel's question, when it comes down to leads, you want to look at them as all opportunities instead of a risk. And then you want to look at them as an experimental phase of which lead is going to yield you the best return of investment. Okay, so when you're watching these training videos, somebody will tell you their personal biased opinion on what's effective for them. I would say all leads work. That's our mantra. All leads work and all leads suck. You are going to get rejected. You're going to get turned down, but you want to just figure out what is your lead budget, what is the amount you're able to get, and then look at it from a point perspective of having more quantity first over quality, because you want to take a lot of shots at it, because you want to get somewhat rejected, but you want to get the higher amount of yeses, right? If you buy 10 high quality leads and then you dialed a whole day, you only got 10 dials to dial for the whole day, versus, you get H leads and you have 200 dials, you can be more busy, right? So check around your area, and then if you feel like your area is not yielding enough, this is where it's a good thing to add multiple states. Okay, this is where it's a good thing to be on telesales, because you could be in the boondocks, in the boonies, with like a population of 1,000 people, but you could be calling out of Alaska or Hawaii. We got a guy here, Victor, that comes in on Thursdays. He says he has a 9-to-5 job, so he got a Hawaii license, and he calls after he's off of work, because we're in California. Hawaii's 3 hours behind us, so he can call at 8 p.m. It's 5 p.m. over there. Yeah. He can call at 10. It's only 7 p.m. over there, right? Or maybe it's only 2 hours back now because we had the daylight savings. So hopefully that helps. Elizabeth, did you have a question, or was it Gabby?
Yes, I had a question.
Sure.
I guess something that we're kind of encountering right now is when we make the calls, we get a lot of people that right away say they're not interested.
Mm-hmm.
And I just kind of was wondering, do I need to like push a little harder? Like, do we need to like overcome the objections right away, be saying things to overcome the objections, or do you just let that call go?
Okay.
as soon as they're not interested.
What are you doing right now? Is what Joanne asked.
I think I kind of just feel the client out if
Yeah.
they're the way they sound more like they're annoyed. I guess I just let the call go, and then if it's someone that kind of sounds like friendly, I'll kind of keep asking questions.
Yeah. So let's go back to your philosophy about the leads first, and then your phone calls. Okay, so let's start off with the belief that the people that filled out these forms, they're asking for help, right? But sometimes when they're asking for help, they're also scared of who's helping them. They're scared of so many scammers that's coming around. So it's good to just understand them from their mind state, their perspective, and then when you're dialing and you're calling these people, you got to have that mental state of I'm here to help you, right? But sometimes that doesn't connect. There's some miscommunication. They target you and they put you down as the telemarketer. So they don't even give you the time of day, right? So this is where your phone skill will come in. If you can turn it into a real appointment, you can turn it to a real conversation. So sometimes what happens, as soon as you make your script or your pitch, if they felt and sensed that you're a telemarketer, they're either hanging up, they're saying they're not interested because they think you want something from them instead of you helping them out, right? So if it's already a non-interested, I like to see it as a challenge. It's already a dead lead in my mind. But how can I revive this dead lead? That's how I look at it. So one trick I like to do when I'm making those calls, I like to extend this conversation as far as I can, and by extending it through asking questions, right? Because what's the worst that can happen? I'm already getting rejected. He's saying or she's saying I'm not interested. So then let me see how long I can keep this conversation going to increase my skill. Because at this point, it's only up going up from there. It's already a no, right? So I would just ask follow-up questions. I'm sorry. So let me take a step back. So that's one word track. I'm sorry. I don't understand. What are you not interested in? I'm actually calling you about the form you filled out. I'm calling you to help you out. What's going on? So I make it sound like I don't understand what you're telling me no about. Didn't you fill out a form for life insurance? Didn't you do this? Okay. And then they say, no, I didn't fill out a form. Do you think someone filled it out for you because you don't have your life insurance needs taken care of? Or did you already take care of that? So I ask all open-ended questions, right?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But I asked a question specifically to my intent of what I'm calling you about. Well, I'm calling you because you filled out a form or someone filled out a form with your information. I got your date of birth here, this and this. You didn't fill this out? Always respond back when it comes down to phone. You always want to respond with an answer, but never finish that answer. Finish the answer and then end with another question. Okay, it's a cat and mouse game. If Joanne tells me I'm not interested, if I just say, okay, well, shoot, the conversation ended, right?
Over, yeah.
Hey,
bye.
Yeah. Hey, this is John. If I call you and say, hey, Joanne, this is John.
Not interested.
Right?
Straight up.
So, hey, I'm calling you about the form you filled out. I got your date of birth. Is this correct? Right. So you got to come back with the question. So just extend it. I would make a note on it. Sometimes, it could be your skill right now is not at the highest. So don't give up on that lead, right? Especially if you have a partner, if you're the one that made a phone call, maybe they didn't like you, give it to someone else. Yeah. Give it to Gabby. Gabby will call. And sometimes you just caught the wrong person at the wrong time. You probably dialed them when they're like I would get a call from agents like, dude, I'm giving my kid a shower. I can't pick up right now.
Yeah.
Right. I can't talk a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or they're on the phone. They're in the shopping, they're in the car. So yeah, so they may not be paying attention to you at that point. So don't give up on it. Just make a note. You can even try giving it a call in a different number later on that day within an hour or 2 hours. Maybe they feel better. Maybe they haven't eaten their breakfast.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So just identify if that person even got to hear your end before they rejected you.
Okay.
Right.
So don't just hang up right away.
Yeah, you want to. Okay. You paid for those leads, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Hey, so come back to the philosophy. The way I see it, hey, they owe me money.
Yeah.
They owe me money for my
Help
time and
them.
my services.
Yeah.
I'm getting paid
Okay.
to help you out. Where's my
Got
money?
it.
And then
All
if
right.
not, if you
Thank
can't
you.
get through them,
Mhm.
that's where it pays to be in the field where you door knock them and they can't just say not interested in person to you, right?
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah, but good
Okay.
questions. We're about to wrap
Thank
it up.
you.
We have one more. Anybody else have any specific
Yeah.
questions?
Sorry, it was taking so long. I have more questions regarding contracting.
Sure.
What happens is that I was on when I clicked the HTMS, it took me to NLC. That's new,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Next level contracting.
Yes.
Yeah. Next level
Okay,
contracting
so
is for you to submit America. But John, I think you already have America, right?
no, I don't have America.
Okay, yeah. Well, NLC is for you to submit. You add a request on there, and it'll let you submit your America contracting, and you'll go through the same exact steps that you did for Sure LC. Where you need to upload like your ENO, you need to upload your AML, your EFT form, and things like that. So you'll have to
Yeah, I
upload
just
the
did
same.
that.
Okay, yeah. So just go ahead and follow each one of the steps, and then at the end it'll ask you to sign, and then you just submit your contract.
So
And then
I
you
have a question regarding the HCMS because I put some requests for that. How long will that take for those to be processed?
they get approved in the same day. The same day that you put them in there, they should get approved, and then you should get your link. And Sure, I'll see hopefully within 1 or 2 days. So you also get an email for those once they are available, and then you just submit them on there.
Oh, the reason I'm saying that because it's saying that on my end it says pending still.
Okay. Yeah. So I'll approve them for you today.
All right, thank you,
Yeah.
thank you.
Once they get approved, then you should get your link within 1 or 2 days.
I have another question. Do we in Family First Life, do we work with a national life group?
Yes.
We do. Now, how do I contract with them?
Have you been
I
contracted
go,
with them before?
uh, yeah, somewhat, but that was a while ago.
Over a year or under a year?
I would say probably under a year.
Okay. You'd have to do a transfer. So that's the issue. So that's NLG is part of our FFL AMS. But
Yeah.
NLG.
Life group. I thought he had said F&G for some reason.
Oh.
Yeah. So NLG, who were you with before that? Or well, if you were previously with another IMO, some IMOs aren't letting you transfer it over to Family First Life, so that may be an issue. But you can just go ahead and send me a text or a request via email, and then I can look into it for you.
Yeah. I do want to give you a
Okay.
heads up with that though. Once we do a transfer, you have a 1-year window to change that you cannot change your comp. So if you were with the previous IMO before, you're sticking with that comp until 1 year
Your
can
year
make
is up.
changes. Yeah. It's a little tricky.
Okay. Is it the same way with AIG as well or no?
No, AIG is different.
Okay.
Yeah. So you want to try to transfer that now.
Yeah, the sooner
Just
the
make an email
better.
to Joanne.
Yeah, just send me an email and then we'll work on it today.
Okay, no problem. What's your email? Can you type it in the chat?
Sure.
Actually, I just typed it.
Yeah, because we're
Let me
close
just
to.
Yeah, I just realized.
Let me do the Michael Jordan dunk.
Joanne at elitefl.com.
Joanne
It's super easy.
at life.lead.com.
Yeah.
Perfect. So I have a question because I reside in New York. I just want to be sure of all the carriers that I'm able to contract with in the state of New York.
Yeah. So you want to do
But you also you also have a couple of non-resident states, right?
I think yeah. Right now
Yeah,
I have New Jersey and Michigan. I'm gonna add on there's my surrounding states like Connecticut.
Okay.
Yeah,
Stuff
because
like
in your state of New York, there's only a couple of carriers that
Yes.
work out of your state. But if you are doing like telesales, I know most of our New York agents do have non-resident licenses to bordering states or other states, just because we have way more products available in those other states.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Make sure you get Foresters in Transamerica.
Yeah, I submit a request for Forces, Transamerica. No, NLG, they work they sell products in state of New York, AIG.
Right.
So those are only 4 I know currently. I don't know what Colombian does. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't think so.
No.
But we'll have to double
Okay.
check.
There's only the 4 that you listed are the only ones that we have in that state right now.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah.
Cool. Alrighty. All right, guys. Thanks for joining us. This will be posted out on Friday on the YouTube. But yeah, feel free to
May I ask one more
comment.
question? Sorry.
No, not really, but go ahead.
So, because I was trying to get my feet wet in insurance, selling insurance. So, like, where would you recommend me watching, what videos to watch? In terms of phone script, if I'm calling somebody, and in home, what would you direct me? What videos to watch?
I would start off with our boot camp. So on Joanne's welcome email, there's a boot camp link in there. I would start with that.
Yeah. All right.
Check out her welcome to
It's on number 7. Number 7 of the email has the
welcome
link on
aboard
there.
email. There we go.
Got it.
Cool. But yeah, that's all the
thank
time we
you.
have. But feel free to text us or ask us on GroupMe if you guys need any more stuff. See
Okay.
you guys
Thanks.
next week. Have a good one.
Guys.
Billy.